Shell, a battle-scarred mercenary, finds that the war has moved closer to home when his girlfriend is attacked by a ruthless band of teenagers. Dun dun dun! Hello fellow followers and welcome back to FanZcene, and today I have for you a VHS haul. I know it's been a bit, but I actually went to a thrift store and a Half Price Books this past weekend, so this is part one of a two-part VHS haul, and within part one here, it's mostly action with a couple steamy thrillers. I want my VHS. Up first, this one's a bit of an odd duck. It's not quite in the vein of the rest of these movies, but I guess you can call it a bit of an action movie. And that would be the 90s classic, Mr. Nanny, starring Hulk Hogan. That's right, Mr. Nanny. This movie, I always remember liking this movie as a kid. It's just, you know, who wasn't a huge Hulk Hogan fan growing up as a kid? You know, the WWF, he was like one of the all-time greatest at that time. And this movie, you know, it's just crazy. You know, there's an actual scene in this, which is really weird that somebody found this out. It's like when he's driving his motorcycle, down the road, and behind him you can see somebody throw a dog into like a lake. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. But this movie here, like I said, you know, it's more of a family-friendly one than the rest of these that we're going to go through, because the rest of these can get pretty hardcore. But I really like this Hulk Hogan, the man. You know, he used to be a former wrestler in this. He gets hired as a bodyguard for these two kids. Well, he thinks he's getting hired as a bodyguard, but he's actually being hired as a nanny. Sherman Helmsley is in this from the Jeffersons, and it's just all crazy and wackiness. And like the back says, it says it's Home Alone meets James Bond, which it's neither one of those, but it's a funny, cheesy, bad Hulk Hogan movie. I love it. This next one, the star of this film, just had a birthday. A very happy birthday to Chuck Norris, and this is Silent Rage. Chuck Norris, six-time world karate champion, stars in his first suspense film as the tough, street-fighting sheriff of a small Texas town terrorized by a psychotic killer. Norris is faced with the dilemma of stopping the invincible murderer made virtually indestructible through genetic engineering. A young group of researchers are responsible for developing the serum, and the head of the research institute is determined to continue the genetic experiments regardless of the consequences. I love this movie. So good. Lost my place. There we go. Norris displays fighting brilliance as he single-handedly routs a dozen brutal bikers from a truck stop hangout, while revealing a warm and sexy side when he rekindles an old romance with Allison Holman, Tony Collin, a researcher at the Institute. Excitement, horror, and romance prevail as Norris combats the killer. I could have went into the spiel about this movie, why it was so good. It's Chuck Norris. It's crazy. It's over the top. It's badass. Like they said, horror, romance, Chuck Norris. I had to pick up Silent Rage on VHS. It's classic. Continuing with the trend of old school epic action heroes when men were men, White Lightning, starring Burt Reynolds. And Burt Reynolds is Gator McCluskey, a moonshine whiskey runner who wages war against corrupt police officials in this two-fisted, four-wheeling action extravaganza. They don't write them like this anymore. I love it. Gator is serving time in an Arkansas prison when he learns that his brother has been murdered by ruthless Sheriff J.C. Connors, played by Ned Beatty. Ned Beatty, man, that dude was a great actor. Swearing vengeance against the killer, Gator agrees to go undercover to expose Connors as a crooked lawman that he is. Armed with a souped-up hot rod and nerves of steel, Gator hurtles through a series of amazing car chases and bone-crushing brawls as he gets the goods on the sheriff. But what the authorities don't know is that Gator plans to make Sheriff Connors pay for the crimes with his life. Epic. Epic. I love these old school action movies. It's like this is amazing. This was originally in 1973. Burt Reynolds is starting at the prime of his career. Burt Reynolds was such a badass, somebody that we lost way too soon. And this was one of his classic films, Gator. You know, if you remember that, if you're a Burt Reynolds fan, you should know this role was Gator. Man. And of course, souped up hot rod, Burt Reynolds action, the 70s, just, ooh. I love these type of movies. Yes, I know most of these you can get on Blu-ray or DVD now, but it's so fun to find these VHSs. And it's been a while since I've did some VHS haul, even though I've been looking for more rare 80s and 70s and stuff, cult films that are harder to find. But I just ain't been having a luck finding them. So I saw these movies and I just had to get them. How about some classic Clint Eastwood? I know that's bad Clint Eastwood. I'm not good at that. But anyways, how about Dirty Harry in The Deadpool? What happens when you put criminal scum behind bars? You become famous. That's what. TV people want sound bites for the evening news. Writers want your life story. And sleazoid creeps want you dead. That still sounds like today. Being famous isn't San Francisco detective Harry Callahan style. He doesn't appreciate being lumped in with a rock star, a film critic, and a talk show host. Can't blame him there. Especially because those three are dead. They're murdered celebrities whose names are in an underground betting pool called The Deadpool. Now Harry's found another well-known name on the list. His. Freaking Dirty Harry, man. Dirty Harry movies are amazing. I really do need to get a whole collection of Dirty Harry movies on Blu-ray. These movies are classic. Clint Eastwood. It's just, man, these movies, they defy so many things, there's so much action, so much adventure, so much grit, so much like 70s hardcore action detective stories, just something that we're sadly missing in a lot of movies. And it went on into the 80s, just so many great movies. And I mean, it's Clint Eastwood. You cannot go wrong with Clint Eastwood. Seemed like in the 90s, there was a movie coming out almost every other week about a teacher going to an inner city, and one of two things would happen. Either the teacher would change these kids' lives and help them achieve what they knew they could achieve, or the teacher would show up and just kick the shit out of all of them. And this is one of them, The Substitute, starring Tom Berenger. I remember this movie. I always enjoyed this movie. This is a great one. Let's go over the back again. I like going over the back. I know I didn't do that for Mr. Nanny, but I like reading this to the back. Let's read through the back here. Shell, a battle-scarred mercenary, finds that the war has moved closer to home when his girlfriend is attacked by a ruthless band of teenagers. Dun dun dun! Determined to root out this terrifying menace once and for all, Shell goes undercover in a local high school to rid the community of this deadly threat. Posing as a teacher, he and his crack team of mercenaries set an elaborate trap to catch the ringleaders and demonstrate the awesome power of justice in this explosive thriller. Ooh, I almost said that. I thought it said crackheads there for a minute. My bad. But yeah, I remember this, and if I remember correctly, yeah. Ernie Hudson is in this too. It took me a minute because I knew Ernie Hudson was in that, but I wanted to make sure. Yes, Ernie Hudson is in this, and Tom Berenger. They make a great team, cleaning up the school, cleaning up these drug dealing kids. It's bizarre that there were so many movies like this in the 90s, where either you went undercover as a teacher and you kicked the crap out of these kids and stopped them from selling drugs and everything, or you came in and you changed their lives and for the better. It was just crazy, and this is a good one. And they made a bunch of straight to VHS sequels starring Treat Williams after this, which aren't too bad as well. They're pretty good, cheesy straight to VHS sequels. Now let's move on to the steamy thriller section, shall we? Continuing with old school action heroes, but in a bit of a steamy thriller. Color of Night, starring Bruce Willis. And for the ladies out there, you get to see Bruce Willis as Willis. Just saying, it's not pleasant for me to watch, but this movie is crazy. And this is the extended 15-minute long director's cut. So let's go over the back so you know what it's about. Now, for the first time ever, it's this year's hottest film in the exclusive-to-video director's cut, featuring 15 minutes of sensational footage not shown in the original theatrical release. Starring big screen action favorite Bruce Willis, Color of Night is the thrill-packed story of a psychologist haunted by the brutal murder of a friend and a colleague. While hunting for the killer, he finds himself romantically entangled with a mysterious beauty, who leads him through a web of passion and intrigue. Color of Night and its exclusive director's cut is the steamy, erotic thriller you simply have to see for yourself. Yes, this movie is, it's a bit of an acquired taste. It's not too bad. It's got some moments in it. I don't want to spoil it for anybody to see, but it does have a bit of a twist ending. It does kind of surprise you. It does have got a pretty decent story to it, and you get to see some boobs, but you also get to see, you know, like I mentioned for the ladies, you get to see something that us guys don't typically want to see, but the ladies might want to see, which you don't get too often in movies for women, so you got that going for you. But this isn't too bad of a movie. The Color of Night, starring Bruce Willis. This last one here, if you stayed up late at night and probably watched a little bit of Cinemax or Skinemax, as some people like to call it, you've probably seen this one, considering it stars Shannon Tweed, the queen of those late night steamy movies, Illicit Dreams. This one I've never actually seen, so let's go over the back right into it, shall we? A lonely housewife's most erotic fantasies are being fulfilled in her dreams. But when her dream lover comes alive, their passion unleashes a firestorm of unearthly desire and worldly danger. In Illicit Dreams, a torrid romantic thriller starring one of Hollywood's hottest film couples, former Playboy Playmate of the Year Shannon Tweed and Andrew Stevens, sizzle as star-crossed lovers whose dream-come-true romance is threatened by her husband. Joe Cortez is riveting as the vicious tycoon who would rather kill her than lose her. Together, they're locked in a lethal showdown where fevers run hot and stakes run high in the steamy, suspense-filled tale of danger and destiny. Ooh, saucy. Yes, Shannon Tweed is now with Gene Simmons of Kiss. Like I said, I've never seen this. Sometimes it's really cool to find these old, like, late night, erotic type thrillers. There's a lot of good boobs in it for, you know, people like me, or people out there that maybe like to see boobs. But there's also, you know, a lot of times we tend to overlook these movies. I'm going to be honest, we tend to overlook these movies because we tend to want to see nudity. Plain and simple. But sometimes if you watch them, they're actually better than you anticipate, but they're also really cheesy, really bad, but really fun. So I saw this, and it's Illicit Dreams. I had never seen it before, and this actually used to be a Blockbuster release. And if you see up here, it says previewed $4.99. I actually paid like a penny for this. It's not too bad. It's in pretty good condition here. So Illicit Dreams, starring Shannon Tweed, the late night vixen of your dreams. So that's it for this VHS haul, which will be part 1, action flicks and a couple steamy thrillers that I got from the thrift store. Part 2 will be coming soon, and that will be, you know, from Half Price Books, and, you know, I'll save the title for that when I put that one out. But let me know what you guys thought about this VHS haul. Have you seen any of these movies? Which one was your favorite? You know, let me know some of the VHSs you picked up, and please leave me those comments because I like reading through them, and it helps me interact with you guys on a personal level, and I do like reading your comments. And if you like this video, please give it a like and share this video out for everybody to see. And if I earned your subscription, please subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. I would truly appreciate that. Thank you guys for watching. Wherever you guys are, please have a great, safe, happy, healthy day, morning, afternoon, evening, and night. Godspeed.